Okay, you guys hang out. I'm going to go ahead and scout the route. Hello and welcome. This is the commander speaking. And what you're seeing here is the mustard seed of the Commander Felixander's Companions Convoy system that will form the core gameplay loop of how the Companions will operate in server, whichever server it is. It's adaptable to each server and each server settings, and it's very simple once you learn it. It's actually very simple to learn to begin with. There's only 3 parts and then a few procedures in each part, and I'll go over each of them as they kind of happen here. So what you're seeing right now is I'm in the role of the scout car, which is the recon element. Following behind me shortly here is the assault element in the Humvee, and then the support element with the supply truck. Right now we have our bare minimum of 6 guys. That's enough for 1 driver in the scout car, 1 driver and 1 gunner in the Humvee, 1 driver in the truck, and then 1 extra to ride in the Humvee. Hang on, that's 5 guys. Well, I guess we didn't get a total of 6. I forget, but excuse me. And the reason I'm scouting ahead in the Jeep is because it can zip ahead faster than everyone else, more easily through difficult terrain. But the goal of the scout car is to scout the route. We're going from Duras, we're trying to get to Le Runs. And what my job as the scout car is to find a way for us to get there safely, or to discover the things that are stopping us from getting there safely. For example, these barricades and those mines. So just like you've seen in some of my previous videos, this convoy is now going to stop and deal with these threats along the route, because the first thing we have to do before we get to Jerusalem is make straight the way for the Lord, as John the Baptist preceded Christ. Now in this case, there's not an ambush here, there's just mines. There's no danger for the assault and support elements to pull up right here to the scout element. Normally, we'd want to park these vehicles far enough away that they cannot be engaged by whatever we're trying to fight here. So just like it's smart to park far enough away from a base and then walk in so you don't get blown up just by driving right into the base, normally we would park far enough away from wherever the scout car found the threat or contact and then walk up to engage it. And then when we park in that area, you know, the scout car parks there, the support truck parks there, but the Humvee drives back to whatever base we came from and picks up whatever casualties we take, because here on the We the People server, they don't currently have radio backpacks unlocked. On servers that do have radio backpacks unlocked, the Humvee would just park there with the rest of the vehicles. Everyone would get out and deploy their radio backpacks so that when they die, they spawn in the backpack, then rejoin the fight. What we're trying to do is minimize the amount of time between when we get killed and when we get back in the fight. We're trying to reduce and even eliminate the boredom that happens in Arma when you get killed. You know, Call of Duty, you just respawn and boom, you're back in the fight. Well, if you play Arma well, you can have that same quick respawn experience. Not as fast as Call of Duty or Battlefield, but way faster than what most people are normally doing. You know, if you're having to spawn at a base, spawn a vehicle, and drive all the way back to where you got killed, that's a long, boring gameplay loop. And what we're doing in the Convoy system, one of the main things, is reducing that loop and sharing it among more players. So rather than each player, every time they die, has to drive back, whoever's driving the Humvee, when we park, they go back to the base and repair the vehicle, you know, refuel it, whatever it needs, while they wait on people to respawn. And then when you're done repairing, you get in the passenger seat, and whoever respawns next, they're the driver, and they drive the vehicle back. That way we take turns transporting each other back to the front line until we capture the objective we're targeting. So in this case, Le Runs. But in order to capture Le Runs, we've got to capture and secure the route to Le Runs. We're looking to make it safe for the troops being transported, the supplies being transported, and the heavy vehicles like the LAV following that route, because we have to make sure there's no mines, no Russians with RPGs on that route, because we can't have 1,700 supply worth of truck getting killed. We can't have 1,800 supply worth of LAV getting killed by one fucking guy in the bushes with an RPG. And that's the job of the scout car His job is to drive forward and act as bait, because most Russians are going to target that Jeep just because it's there. And, oh, there's one more. They're thinking that's someone alone. They don't think that's a scout. They just think that's one asshole in a Jeep. I'll kill him. He's not going to say anything on the radio, and then I'll kill the next thing that comes down the road. Well, in our system, when he kills that Jeep, our navigation guys who are on their maps in the vehicles, right, someone who's not driving is going to keep an eye on the map. And when they see in the kill feed or notice that the guy in the scout car, who's typically the squad leader, so that he shows up on map, when he disappears off the map on the route we're trying to take, they know, okay, there's where the ambush is. They mark that location. We pick a spot far enough away from that location as if it was an enemy base, drive over, park 100 to 200 meters away, depending on how close we can safely get with cover and concealment, you know, between there and the point. We disembark, unload our passengers. They get into an infantry formation so that we can sweep that full area and either kill that guy or push him out of that area while the Jeeps go back to the base to pick up whoever gets killed. Once we sweep that area and clear it, either by killing that guy or forcing him out of the area, then we bring the vehicles up to everyone else, to where they've advanced out of the parking area, right? So we don't have to run on foot back to where we parked. We bring the vehicles to our new front line. Everyone loads back in and we roll off. Now, if we didn't find the guy and he RPGs us, that's fine, because it'll only be the Humvees and the Jeeps there. The supply trucks and the LAVs will still be in the rear where we parked safely. And the reason we're bringing those supply trucks in the LAV is the supply truck is so that as soon as we capture the base of Laruns, we can drop those supplies, and that's our new respawn point for our next attack to, let's say, Tyrone or Hornbeam. Or Coastal Base Chotane. The LAV stays in the rear because the LAV's job is not to support the infantry in the attack, and neither is the machine guns on the Humvees. The Humvees are just transports. That machine gun on top of the Humvee is for when we're driving down the road, and we're driving down the road in the Humvee, and the Russians are coming onto us down that same road, and we meet head to head. We can stop the vehicle, and the gunner, as soon as we stop, can start firing. He doesn't have to get out like everyone else to start firing. He can immediately engage that vehicle and kill whatever Russians are in it and getting out. You know, he's going to get 2 or 3 kills if he's on the ball. And it's not the job of the guy on the gun to be looking at the map and looking at the sky and looking to the left and looking to the right. You're supposed to be looking straight down the road, because that's the only spot where you're going to be able to effectively engage a target. Same thing with if we're on the Russia side and we've got the UAZ with the PKM on top. Well, he can only look front. Your job is to, when we encounter enemy vehicles head-on, you engage them as soon as we stop, because you're going to get to shoot before everybody getting out gets to shoot. So that's the job of the machine gun, not to drive forward and get close enough to the enemy where we can get RPG'd. Let the enemy waste all their RPGs killing all of our guys who've dismounted and are properly spread out. Make them spend 1 RPG per person. Don't let them efficiently use their RPGs by killing vehicles and groups of us. Your job is to drop off the guys and drive away with the Hummer, right? That way, when they kill all our guys, if they do, with the RPGs, that's fine, because you're going to pick them up back at base and drive right back there. Those guys will be out of RPGs the next time we fight them. We'll kill them, and then we'll clear that position, and we'll be able to go through. So we have to accept the fact that the Russians have the advantage in equipment and skill, and probably numbers of skilled players most of the time, for the time being, is the way we're operating. But we're going to use such effective tactics and accept our limitations and the fact that we're going to take heavy losses, and in spite of that, overcome those obstacles. And that's what this convoy system is designed to do. Same thing with the LAVs remaining in the rear. Their job is to protect us from enemy aircraft, not to engage other armored vehicles, not to engage infantry. That is your sole job. You are an anti-air unit unless you are given a specific task that acts as an exception to that rule. Now, those of you worried about being bored in the support element, don't worry. When we pick a spot for the LAV to park, it's going to be somewhere perhaps separate from the supply trucks, perhaps with the supply trucks, but ideally it's going to be a spot where he can see the air as much as possible over the area of operation we're in when we park. but where the RPGs can't see him, or he's far enough away where they can't target him easily. Now, if you're worried about being stuck in the supply column, bored, and you're not in the fight, don't worry, because once we park, the drivers of the supply trucks will join the other infantry on the ground in the attack. Because if you die, that's fine, because you can just get in the Humvee with everyone else and come back to the front. And when the fight's over, whether you're on the way back in a Humvee or you're in the area of operation, your job then is just to run back to your truck and drive it onto the base we're capturing, or rejoin the convoy and driving in the rear. So, same thing with the driver of the LAV. Once you're in position, the driver, if you so choose, can get out and come with us. Because when we signal for the convoy to resume its formation, the guy on the gun can swap to the driver's seat and drive up the vehicle to you. And this is where, once we get enough people, right now in this clip, we're all in the same squad, on the same comms, and I'm hand-holding everybody through this process because we don't know it yet. In this video, I even told the guys I'm with, right now we're in the situation where I'm teaching a group of 6 or 7 guys, 6, 7, how to operate this system. But once we get good enough at it, then it'll be the 6 or 7 of us, each teaching 6 or 7 of you at a time. So anyway, that's enough yapping and telling. Let me show you when we make contact now. Contact on me. Got a Vic coming up the hill into town from Chotane. Sounds like BTR.
You're in LeBron.
Yes.
How much further up from you, if you would say, in meters? I mean, in yards.
Shit.
Is it on top of you?
They're in this. They're in the town center.
Not the Humvee.
Aim the gun. Aim the gun.
Right near the tree. Right near the tree. Nice shit. Felix down.
There's one more in town. That's the BRDM. One more in a Jeep. Total probably 5 or 6 guys riding on top.
Nice chicken.
You can dismount and leave the truck. Come in and fight. Humvee should be driving back to military base levy now.
Get him, chicken, get him.
Names out, straight ahead, off of the PTO.
I got good eyes on the BTR, dude. Roughly 200 meters. Shots going out. Ah, missed too far. There's 2 of them, it looks like. Yeah, one of them.
God damn these fences.
Felix, there's one to your right. Look to your right. Look behind that fence. To the left.
Damn it. Crap. Now I'm down to flares.
I think it's empty. Is it not?
Fucking up the tires. I killed that crew. That's the one that hit with the 3 in it at the first shot.
Right. I got overwatch. Let me know when it's clear.
So that was the first contact of the first companion convoy, and I'd say it went pretty well. We took out 1 BRDM, 1 BTR, many Russians, and only lost about half of us. And after the round was starting to end, we talked it over, and basically we've assembled the pieces, but they haven't become moving parts yet. Because, as you can see there, that burning car behind the tree there, that's our Humvee that was supposed to be going back to pick up Blakey Lee, who got injured. Or killed, I should say, and Chicken Man's injured here. The supply truck is up on the hill up there. That's bad position. We want that, we want that to be behind the trees, and then Panda, park the truck behind the trees, then Panda go up on the hill for Overwatch. But his Overwatch and his truck position is the same place, and it's okay because it's kind of in defilade from the people down on the hill in the bottom. But those on the other hill in town of Lorenz can see him from there. As you can see, we can see those buildings on the left side of the screen. So not an ideal position, but these are the kinds of things that, we've got the idea, but how do we actually execute it in practice? And that just comes from practice, a lot of it. And I'd say for us to be the first time we've done this and we fucked those Russians up, I'd say that's a pretty good sign, because we're starting with people who are already exceptional. These are people who already are willing to learn the game. These aren't people who don't know how to open their inventory. These aren't people who panic and start shooting small arms at the armored vehicles when they see them. Each of us had an LAW. Panda missed by a hair. Chicken Man got him with the LAW, the BTR that was down there. Andy killed 1 or 2 of them with the 50 cal on the Humvee before they blew it up. But as you can see, we've still got some kinks to work out, because we've gone head-to-head against those guys, and even though we came out on top, our ability to move forward and secure the route is now, we're also disabled. So we're stuck here defending the town of Lorenz,
Just shoot him.
even though
Lay into him.
we're trying to get to the base of Lorenz and deliver the supplies that our team needs to respawn, because Lorenz is a purple point. So we had a successful engagement, but we weren't successful enough to pass through that engagement onto our objective. But we also luckily, disrupted that landing by being here, which is good, but that's luck, But there are several great things about this system that we're developing. And the first is that it's scalable. It works with 6 people, and it works with 60 people. Second is that it's simple, and it's something that kind of fluid competency that I talked about in my Milsim event video is possible with this system, because ideally the kind of rotation we want to do is that everybody knows each role at least to a basic level, so we don't have to argue, and we don't have to decide, and we don't have to dither about who's doing what job in the convoy. All of us can do whatever job we find ourselves in, and it's about getting into your job and your role as quickly as possible to get this show on the road. We don't have to have, like in these Milsim units, people dedicated to, all I do is drive, all I do is snipe, all I do is fly the helicopter. These specific roles that people are assigned to, including leadership roles, we don't need squad leaders. We don't need that whole command structure. Once you guys learn the system and we set an objective, you don't need me telling you every little thing what to do. And you don't need somebody else in your ear telling you what to do, because you know what we're trying to do. And once you learn the system, you know your role in that system, and then you can act upon your own initiative to do what needs to be done within that system to accomplish our objective. Because I want to make very clear right now that this is not a Felixander fan club. I do not want a bunch of people following me around the map asking me, Felix, what do we do? Felix, Felix, Felix. If you need to ask me that often in a match like that, then you need to watch some more of these videos, or listen better at the briefings we give in game, because the goal is for you not to have to ask me that. The goal is for you not to ask me for things to help you think, but to accept the gifts I've given you, and then you give gifts in return. I want you to tell me things like, Felix, we've accomplished the objective. Felix, this is the recon team. We've discovered enemy armor struggling up the hill on the way to the runs. We're engaging now to delay them until the assault team arrives. And that is why you guys are named companions, not followers. You're here because you want to help me, just like I want to help you. We're here to help each other. So, to facilitate that, follow me on TikTok and check my story. That's where I post pretty often about what servers we're going to be on, what time, and those kinds of things. But the best spot is to join the Discord, which is in the link in my bio on my YouTube and TikTok. That's where you can get much more live updates on where we are, what we're doing, when we're doing it, those kinds of things. Especially details that I can't get into the TikTok story, like this server just shut down and it's not going back up. We can't get through the queue, you know. The kinds of difficulties that no plan survives contact with difficulty in the enemy, the kinds of updates you need to get in game with us are in the Discord. So anyway, this has been the Commander speaking. Over and out.